Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. It'll be a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know, I look at some of the things that they put up here to be celebrating, and sometimes you just have to scratch your head and say, why? What caused it? Where did they come up with some of these things? What might they have been smoking when they came up with them? Today's one of them, and I'm not even sure I can say how to. Lutefisk Day. Now, it's a fish, and it's out of Sweden area, but in the description, they tell us that it tastes like soapy water. Not a chance in heck we're talking about that one any more than I already did. We've wasted more than enough time on it. Christmas card day. I guess because they figure that it's going to take that long. If you put the Christmas card in the mail today, it might take that long to get delivered. I just throw that out there, and I'm going to probably get in trouble with some family members of mine that work for the post office. Okay, so I have beaten anorexia. Today is National Pastry Day. Question of the day, what's your favorite pastry? You know, I'm going to go with, for me, put yours in this chat. Just put it in the chat, and we'll see what your favorites are. I'm going to go with one of my favorites, chocolate eclair. I enjoy a chocolate eclair. So that's mine. Put yours in there if you're watching us as we record live here in the morning on our social channels. If you're listening to us on the live radio broadcast in the afternoon, well, just speak out loud. We hear you. So chocolate eclair filled with custard. That's my... Josh, is that all the Facebook channels that we have on right now? Is just those two? Okay, we need to see if we can figure out what's going on with the rest of them. I don't know why they're not. We should be on Ron Siegel Radio, I would think, but we'll leave that to Josh to figure out why that's not coming on there. Chocolate eclair. That's going to be my favorite. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to know what the markets are doing today? Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 42.68. S&P 500 is down 24.5. The NASDAQ is down 78.5. Oil up $1.33 a barrel, 68.53 is the price of a barrel of oil. Remember, about 42 gallons of gasoline come out of that barrel, so that's just kind of where our numbers are right there. Gallon of gasoline here in the formerly Golden State, 436.5, 302 is the national average for a gallon of gasoline. And not a lot going on there. 436.5 is the price in California. And I think we're getting closer and closer to that day where we get that extra 65 cents a gallon. for the governor who wants to give us more taxes and fees. Yes, he does like us to get taxed and feed to death. It's California, so we get to enjoy that, and we keep voting for the same people. So I guess we get what we deserve. News of the day. Okay, I don't play baseball, so I guess I'm not going to be part of that contract or be in getting into that over $700 million for Juan Soto, 15 years. And I think he's got an opt-out clause in there too. Just in case that 700 some million is not enough for him, he can opt out so he can get more. Yeah, I guess he's going to be paying some serious taxes there in New York. You know, you wonder sometimes why they don't go to, a Texas team or a Florida team where they don't have the tax burden that we have in California and New York. But I guess if you're making that kind of money, do you really care? It's serious dough. Great news just breaking, and this is some really good news. I don't know why it took this long, but we do have breaking news. Daniel Penny found not guilty. So, I don't even, only in New York, I guess, would they have brought charges against a good Samaritan who's protecting other people. Would they bring charges against him? Now, no matter what he did, and now that he's been acquitted, think about how much money that cost just for him to go and, defend himself. Now, I don't remember the numbers. I think, Josh, you might know this better than me. There was a GoFundMe that was set up for him. And, and I think that probably covered a lot of his legal fees. But why should it have even come to that? Why was it brought to a grand jury? None of that stuff really makes a whole lot of sense to me. Why they would do some of these things to a good Samaritan. I think it was a Marine. And, protecting people. There's a lot of people that were scared. And I understand that the person there, $3 million, thanks, Josh, $3 million raised in his GoFundMe account. So, and I understand the fact that the person that the victim, or not the victim, but the person that he was trying to help, or that he was trying to protect the other people from, I don't know what you call them, perpetrator. So, he had some mental problems. Oh, and boy, by the way, okay, so this is my fun story of the week. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he had more fun than me. I go out, and if you look at the background there, that's me walking out along, not now, I'm not, but I walk Balboa Island most weekends. And yesterday, slow speed chase, all of a sudden I'm walking and get a sheriff's helicopter circling overhead. Balboa Island, 7:30 in the morning. Sheriff's helicopter, and all of a sudden there's a crash. A Mini Cooper right into a bench. Guy jumps out of the Mini Cooper after he smashes his head in the windshield and gets all bloodied. Jumps in the ocean. I don't know, if I've got a bloody head and whatever, I would think the ocean, salt water, might be a little painful. Gets in a little boat that, those little dinghies or kayaks that are there on the coast there. Goes across to another boat and waits there for probably about 25 or 30 Irvine PD, Newport PD, sheriff's boat, lifeguard, sheriff's helicopter. I don't think this guy is getting away. Word to the stupid people out there. If you're going to get into a car chase, which that's a stupid person, get into a car chase, don't go onto an island. It's not very easy to get off. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, why owning a home is worth it in the long run, why more sellers are hiring real estate agents. What are you really paying for a 3% mortgage? We're going to talk about all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did rates lock at on Friday? Conventional 30-year fixed, 6.561. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fixed, 6.83837. That was down. FHA 30-year fixed, 6.276. That was down. VA 30-year fixed, 5.99. That was down. And we've got the USDA 30-year fixed, 6.384. That one was up. If you want our market commentary each and every business morning, as early as the data allows, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's see what the markets are doing today. So we're looking at it. We see the S&P 500 is now down 26.22. The 10-year Treasury is up 4 basis points. Mortgage bonds, those are down. The bond itself is down 9 basis points. When the bond goes down, that means rates are going up. And I will share with you that, we're not going to have a whole lot of news and new things coming out until we see. I know we have CPI coming out, and then we've also got the Federal Reserve on the 18th coming out. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of surprises in any of those things. What's driving all of this? Well, we've got CoreLogic equity numbers reported that homeowners with mortgages, 62% of all properties, saw their equity rise $425 billion, or 2.5% year over year, bringing total home equity to a massive $17.5 trillion. This is the combination of equity gain through amortization and appreciation, which has been strong. On average, homeowners with a mortgage have $311,000 in equity, with $200,000 of that being tappable. Double or triple that if you're here in Orange County, LA County, San Diego County. As equity increases, negative equity, or those underwater, decreases. Negative equity is down 3% year over year. There are only 990,000 homes with negative equity, which is only 1.8% of all mortgaged properties, or 1% of all owned properties. Looking at all owned properties, total equity is $37 trillion. That means the average equity per homeowner is $440,000. Some interesting stats on homeownership in the U.S. 136 million total households in the U.S., 91 million homes owned, 67% ownership rate. 56.5 million homes currently have a mortgage, that's 62%. 34.5 owned, free and clear, no loans, that's 38%. 45 million homes are rented. Fannie Mae and Pulsenomics Home Price Expectation Survey, they're the best one I say for guiding where real estate is going. Why? Because all the others that you hear about get fed into this one. They've been steadfast that housing would continue to provide a meaningful wealth creation opportunity this year. So far, that has held true. And again, our friends over at MBS Highway take part in the Pulsenomics Household Housing Survey, where they've won the Crystal Ball Award 3 times. and finished in the top 10 twice, including 6th place last year. The latest data from the top 150 economists in the U.S. just released, showing the following appreciation forecast with the impact on a $500,000 home. So the average 3.78%, and that means $18,000 for that $500,000 home. Over the next 5 years, $135,800 for that $500,000 home, 27.16%. Housing should be a great investment. Make sure that you are contemplating this when you're looking at what you want to invest in. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So we're going to do a Borrow Smart segment today, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. What is that 3% mortgage really costing you? I still hear so many people that are talking about how they love their 3% mortgage. And I know that some people are a little less than 3, some are a little more than 3. A tremendous amount are right around 4 and under. So I pulled out an old document from a client that had a 30-year loan. They did it in July of 2020. And they got an interest rate of 3.375, 3.375. Can you relate? It was a $900,000 purchase, a $765,000 home, and a $3,382 principal and interest payment. Now, I'm not going to go into all the APRs and all that kind of stuff because I'm trying to educate you here. And the APRs just kind of get in the way. So yes, they have a 3.375 principal and interest payment. If you don't know how to calculate that mortgage payment, ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com, you can get our mobile app. Actually, I did a different one, Josh. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And you can just go grab the app, put it on your phone, your device, whatever it is. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. There's a mortgage calculator in there. You would put whatever your loan amount is and that 3.375. Now, the thing that gets me is when people are looking at these things, they look at them and they say, okay, I've got a 3.375 loan, and they don't think about where their money is going. And why do I say where's their money going? Yeah, I know it's going to the bank. But what I want you to understand is how much. So in that first year of having that 3.375 loan, and you're making that payment of $33.82 a month, $33.82 a month, you're going to spend $25,588 is going to the bank for interest. Now, $14,996 is going to pay off your loan. Can you see here that what's happening is interest is front loaded? Let's go to 2 years and see what the numbers look like after 2 years. So now you've got $50,000 in interest, $50,662, and $30,000 has gone to paying off your loan. Why is that important? Well, think about that. You said that you're real excited about a 3.375 interest rate, yet significantly more money is going to the bank than going to you as far as in your principal. Now, how do we turn that around? That's the big issue. And I've been talking to you. You probably get tired of hearing about it, but the Home Select loan is the answer. Now, if we take that exact same loan and date that all the way back, and we can't go back in time, but we can look today and say, okay, what does that loan look like if we have it today? So we obviously know that today, it's roughly month 50, you've got a loan balance of $699,039. What if we throw that into the Home Select loan? And I tell you right from the beginning, the interest rate is higher. But what about the interest expense? And what about the time to pay off the loan? There's 25.8 years left on that 30-year loan. But the Home Select, because it is an offset loan, and the beauty of it is the sweep feature. So any money that you have in your bank account gets swept into paying your loan down. And as soon as you need that money again, it's swept back into your checking account so that it's they're ready for you. Your loan gets paid off potentially, if you follow all the methodologies, in 13.8 years. 13.8 years. Now, if we look at Southern California, you're going to be looking at about a 5.25% home appreciation rate. And you can probably get, if you call our friend Todd Halterman, you could probably get a 7.5% appreciation on your money. So what do you do with that extra $3,382 after you've paid off your loan? Well, you start investing it, and it becomes worth almost $800,000 over the ensuing years. So using the Home Select loan, you could potentially be looking at a $4.1 million, $4.2 million in total wealth appreciation and the investment account versus going with that 30-year fixed rate at 3.375 that you love so much. You're looking at a total wealth accumulation of the appreciated value of your property, $3.375 million. So would you like an extra $800,000? How much money is that 3.375 loan costing you over time? Now, I know that very few of you have a $765,000 loan. Well, some have more, some have less. It's just mathematics. The odds of you having that exact loan amount are very, very slim. What do? Well, if you want to understand the loan, you go to rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. And you can actually put your data in there, your unique data in there, what your interest rate is, what your balance is, what your property value is. And you can see how much quicker you can have your house paid off. Now, think about this concept. 13.8 years of having that home paid off. 13.8. I love that idea because I like the idea of saying, okay, 13.8 years, what's the other part of this? Well, at the end of 13.8 years, you've got your house paid off, but here's the bigger issue. Because as you know, as a certified liability advisor, we try to help you build wealth through strategic debt management. Strategic debt management. Well, what we really want to have you find is, okay, what happens if I need money during that time? Well, remember I told you just a second ago about the sweep feature? If you don't have the money to make a mortgage payment one month, well, you've got the sweep feature in place, and it's going to actually be able to, it'll allow you to skip a payment. What if you need to put a new air conditioner in? You've got equity. You just go ahead and use some of that equity to put in the new air conditioner. Your car goes bad. You need a new car. If you've got the equity available, you pay for the car in cash. Now, pro tip, you might want to finance the car to get a lower price, but make sure you're looking at the price, not the payment. The dealers only want you to talk about payment. Look at the price. If you can save money on the price because they're getting paid on the back end for the financing, then go into your Home Select after a month or two and just write a check to pay off that loan if it saves you money. And then you put that money, the payment amount, into your sweep account and continue to grow over time. Because at the end of that 13.8 years, you're going to have roughly $800,000 in equity available. Think about that concept. You'll be able to use that money for other strategic usages. And that's why, as a certified liability advisor, we say we help you build wealth. Build wealth through strategic debt management. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I'm sorry, that's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. When we come back, why owning a home is worth it in the long run, why more sellers are hiring real estate agents, and more. Reach me on the off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com, NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why owning a home is worth it in the long run. Today's mortgage rates and home prices have you second guessing whether it's still a good idea to buy a home right now. While market factors are definitely important, there's also a bigger picture to consider: the long-term benefits of home ownership. Think of it this way. If you know people who bought a home 5, 10, or even 30 years ago, you're probably going to have a hard time finding someone who regrets their decision. That's because over time, home values usually grow, and that means a homeowner's net worth does too. Here's a look at how you can really add up over the years. Home price growth over time. If you're looking at ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you're seeing a graph of the percentage of change in home prices. And this comes from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, to show how much prices have grown over the last 5 years. Since home prices vary by area, the map is broken out regionally to really showcase larger market trends. So over that 5-year period, the average is 57.4%. And you can see in the Pacific, 47.3%. West Coast, 48.3%. You can see nationally, home prices have increased over 57% in just 5 years. Some regions are slightly above or below that average, but overall, home prices saw a big uptick in a short time. And if you look real close, the benefits of home ownership and the drastic gains homeowners have made over the years become even more clear. Second chart, percentage of home change in home prices. 5 years, if you're looking at the Pacific Coast, 362.6. Oof, not bad. Second home map shows that over a roughly 30-year span, home prices appreciated by an average of more than 320% nationally. So the typical homeowner who bought a house about 30 years ago saw their home triple in value during that time, and that's a major reason so many homeowners who bought their homes years ago are still happy with their decision today. Bottom line, there's no denying today's market is complex, but if you're ready and able to buy right now, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That way you can take advantage of the long-term advantages that come with home ownership, like your ability to build wealth as your home value rises. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Now, think about that concept, and I want you to really think here about if you did buy that house 30 years ago, and you've got massive appreciation in those properties, and we know there's 34.5 million people that own their houses free and clear, 38% of the population. Are you living like you've got that kind of wealth? Or is it locked? And that's why we talk all the time about building wealth through strategic debt management. You see, the stock market is up dramatically right now. But does it always go straight up? No. It goes it'll go up, it'll go down, it goes in cycles. What happens when you sell your stock at a high price? You're all excited. But if you need money to live and the stock value dropped, you can't wait for it, and you have to sell it to live. You can't expect it to go back up again. You've already sold it. You're out of the game. But your house, it keeps going up in value and you keep getting more and more equity as long as you're paying the traditional 30-year mortgage, even if you're using that 3.375 that we talked about in the last segment. But the bottom line is that you don't have liquidity. And that's one of the key pillars that we talk about when we're consulting people on mortgages. And I know a lot of people will call us and all they really care about is, Ron, what's the rate? Okay, what's the rate for what? Do you want the rate for the highest price mortgage we have? I shouldn't say that. The highest cost mortgage we have? Oh yeah, that's a 30-year fixed rate loan. Is that the one that you're looking for? Well, the bottom line is you want to use the one that makes the most sense for you long term. And that would be looking into a lot of the questions. So there's seven questions you need to know. And most mortgage people have never even heard of these questions. They have no idea how do they fit into a mortgage process. How do you manage risk? How do you repay the loan? Don't tell me by check or direct transfer. How much is available to you? How much do you borrow? What's the right numbers here? There's three more questions, and we get into that more in our private consultations. It's hard to go through some of them here, but a lot of it has to do with the fact of liquidity. And we do everything that we're doing in these areas through a lens of safety, liquidity, and return. Now, how do you get a return on debts? Well, that's what we're talking about. That's the important thing. You have to have a return on your debt. You have to have a return on everything you invest in. If you don't have a return on the things you're investing in, well, you're missing the boat. And we don't want you to be missing the boat. We want you to go and look at all of these things and understand that if you get hurt and can't make a mortgage payment, your lender doesn't care. They just want their payment. Now, if you've got the right kind of loan, then you don't have to stress. Okay, I got hurt. I'm going to go take care of myself. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I go and I get taken care of myself. I don't have to worry about feeding my family. I don't have to worry about paying the mortgage. I don't have any of those issues. But you've got to have a team in place. And that's one of the big issues that we talk about a lot is who is your financial advisor? Do you even have one? Who's your liability advisor? That's what we do. Insurance advice, accounting advice, legal advice. Right now, we're in the holiday period. Do you know what the most beneficial gift is that you can give your family? Now, this doesn't work for little kids, but if you are over 25, if you own a piece of property, if you are married, if you have kids, the biggest gift you can give your family is a trust. Has anybody told you that before? was a certified liability advisor. We want to make sure that you've got that trust in place, because here in the state of California and across the country, everybody has an estate plan. Everybody. The question is, did you develop the estate plan, or did the state that you live in develop it? Do you want the state of California to be taking care of your kids or to decide where your kids are going if something happens to you? I get up very early every morning to get ready for the radio show. I listen to several different news channels. Sometimes I even get to the traffic reports. And frequently there's SIG alerts. We hear all too often about accidents and fatality accidents. Nobody got up that day saying that was going to happen to them or happen to their family. Nobody. But it happens all the time. Have you planned for your family? So at this holiday time, if you don't have a will and a trust, again, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you haven't looked at it in the last 10 years, there's changes that take place. There could be changes next year that'll significantly impact how you need to set up your will and trust. I don't know what's going to happen politically. So there are changes there. You got to understand these things, folks. If you're not, again, give me a call, 800-306-1990. The best gift you can give your family is having that will and trust in place and have it funded. Oh, yes. 80% of the wills or trusts that are developed, 80% of the trusts, I've been told, don't get funded properly. So what does that mean? They're a big old giant paperweight. They're worthless. If your house hasn't been put into your trust, if you haven't filled out those orders for guardianship and medical powers of attorney, financial powers of attorney, if you haven't set these things up, that trust is like you haven't even done it. It's not worth a whole heck of a lot. So the bottom line is get that done so that when you go and make that decision to buy a house, and I know so many people, I know it's the average age has moved up to 38 now, but a lot of people still want that. And have a plan. Now, maybe you don't qualify for the Home Select loan. That's the best loan in the market by far. Anybody that tells you different just doesn't understand the loan. So if you haven't got that, are you on a game plan to get it? Frequently, I talk to folks and we look at it and we say, okay, maybe we're going to need to use the transition loan from Geneva Financial so they can buy their new house before they sell the departing property. But we have a game plan. Okay, we do that. Then are we getting them into a traditional 30-year loan with a plan to get them into the Home Select? Because it's not easy to qualify for, but you can do it if you've got a plan. Or are we going to go right to the Home Select? All of these things are things that we all work out, but it's all through strategic debt management. If you're not working with a certified liability advisor, shame on you. You need to be. And give us a call at 800-306-1990. If we're not the right source for you, I'll put you in touch with somebody else who is a certified liability advisor, but I think we might be able to help you out. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, why more sellers are hiring real estate agents. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why more sellers are hiring real estate agents. Putting your house for sale on your own, often called for sale by owner or FSBO, might be on your mind, but you should know that it gets complicated very quickly, especially in today's complex market. That's why data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, shows a record low number are going the route of selling on their own. Instead, more and more homeowners are choosing to work with a real estate agent. Again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feeds, you are seeing a chart. More homeowners are hiring a pro when they sell, and here's why partnering with an agent is the go-to choice. Selling your home is a big deal, and while FSBO might seem like a way to save time or money, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. The selling process requires setting the right price, navigating a growing amount of legal paperwork, and creating a solid strategy to attract buyers. And going it alone often means taking on more than you bargained for. Let's look at two big reasons why working with a pro can make all the difference. Number one, getting the right price right. One of the biggest hurdles when selling a house on your own is figuring out the right price. It's not as simple as picking a number that sounds good. You need to hit the bullseye. Price your home too high and buyers may overlook your listing. Price it too low and you can leave money on the table or even raise red flags about the condition of your home. Real estate agents are experts in finding the right price for today's market trends. As Zillow explains, quote, agents are pros when it comes to pricing properties and have their finger on the pulse of your local market. They understand current buying trends and can provide insight into how your home compares to others for sale nearby. With their knowledge of the local market, buyer behavior, and what homes like yours are selling for, an agent will help you make sure you set a price that's competitive and that'll draw in buyers. And that's perfectly strategic, and it's that perfectly strategic price that'll set the stage for selling at top dollar. Number two, understanding and managing the paperwork. Another part of the process is dealing with a growing stack of paperwork, from disclosure forms to contracts. Each document needs to be completed accurately, and there are legal requirements to follow that can feel overwhelming if you're not familiar with them. This is another area where an agent's expertise really shines. They've handled these documents countless times and know exactly what's needed to keep everything on track. Your agent will guide you through the paperwork step by step, making sure it's done right the first time and you understand what you're signing. With their help, you can avoid unnecessary stress and mistakes that can lead to delays, legal complications, and more. Bottom line, selling your house is a big decision, and having a trusted real estate agent on your side can make all the difference. Let's connect so you have a pro to help with everything from pricing your home to managing the details. That way we can take the guesswork out of the process and help you sell with confidence. And as you know, we have an idea, not an idea. We have the resources to find out, to get a track record of every real estate agent in the country. And it's a lot of data. If you want to know, like I said, I've had a real estate license over 10 years now. I am not qualified to sell your house. And neither are about 70% of those people that have real estate licenses. They don't know the new rules that went into effect August 17th. They don't know the rules in California that are going to go into effect the 1st of January, because they're doing it spare time, part-time, one deal in a lifetime. But we have a real estate track record that gives us an idea of exactly how many transactions agents have done. What are the sizes? Are they dealing in $200,000 manufactured homes and you're selling $1 million house? They may not have all the same things that are needed for it. So give us a call. Again, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with the right people who can help. And there's a lot of things coming out now on the flip side of this about buying a house and saying, oh, you don't need a real estate agent now in this day and age. Hogwash. Nothing's changed. The lawsuit that was a crazy lawsuit that happened and the settlement came out. The verdict came out last year. The settlement went into effect August 17th. Changed a lot of things for buyers agents, but they didn't change for buyers. You still need to know what you don't know. And none of us know what we don't know. But the agents that are doing good business all the time, they understand these things. We just released our 2025 Home Buyers Guide. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. Now, you know about our quarterly guide that we come out with, but we put out a bigger guide every year. Our friends, we do that with our friends at Geneva Financial. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. Now, yeah, we do a quarterly one, but I still want you to know these things because it's a major, major investment that you're making. It's a house. One of the people, get this, one of the people that was involved in the lawsuit that totally set real estate on end in the lawsuit that's been going on for the class action lawsuit. Guess what they did? They started a new business so they can help buyers for a fee. Not to give you a lot of education. They just write the contract for you and charge you every time you write an offer. Not how much you should offer or what's good or bad about the property or what the history is of the property. You're doing all that yourself. So they charge you one amount of money to go out there and have somebody, not your representative, show you the property. And then they write a contract and leave the rest of it to the buyer, to the seller's agent. Now, if you're getting divorced, especially in California, do you want your spouse's lawyer helping you or representing you? No. Dumb to do that. Just dumb. So if you want our quarterly buyer's guide, rsrhbg.com. rsrhbg.com is our quarterly one. The annual one, Josh just put on the screen, rsrlinks.com/HBG2025. We just released it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, and as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.